What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome to yet another episode of the Blaugrana and Parisiens. Following a short break, we are back now, of course, for the most important time of the season where everything is being decided. And I'm joined, of course, with my boy, PSG Int. You want to say what's up?
Welcome, beautiful Barca boy family. Happy to be back.
So today we're going to be talking about what's to come. It's probably too boring to talk about what's happened recently. We'll start off, of course, with the Barcelona game yesterday. That's why we didn't have our show yesterday because Barcelona did play. We'll probably stick with that for the foreseeable future. If one of our teams play on a Monday, probably have the show the next day. It just makes a bit more sense. But I did see that you did do a watch along for the game, so there's proof of you watching the game. So your thoughts on the maybe for you as a neutral, boring 1-0 penalty Barcelona victory?
I brought the low scoring curse. We keep it going. What pretty much
I
one
feel
goal
so
per game.
bad for you. By the way, you haven't seen. He's done like 8 watch alongs over the past weekend. He's seen like 6 goals over 8 games, which is crazy.
But for me, that kind of a game from Barca, obviously, like it should have been better. If everything went as it should, I saw it more as a 3-1. I think Rafinha could have gotten one. Maybe Yamal could have gotten one, and then Rayo. I think they created enough, especially the one that that cross at the end.
Yeah, then
I
that
wish he
that oh
scored
my
that.
god.
But apart from that, it was just a great 3-pointer for Barca. Obviously, with Atletico Madrid dropping points, it was even more pressure on Barca.
Mhm.
Valicano felt confident. Their manager ahead of the game saying he believes they can win the game. Um, and then obviously you didn't play midweek as well. Most teams played midweek, so
No,
there's a
no,
little bit
we had
extra rest for you.
yes, there's no UCL since the Copa was delayed. We had the week off, yes. And since we played on a
Yeah,
Monday as well, we had like a whole like full 7 days off.
yeah. I saw probably some Barca fans like overreacting about the performance because it wasn't the best, and wow, it's 3 points in the back. Like when you're coming into this part of the season, just win games. It's not about stat pad sessions. It's not about anything.
I think, like I mentioned in my match review, the issue for me wasn't that, of course, 3 points are so important after both the Madrid teams dropped points, but just the fact that we had a week off, I expected a bit more intensity. I felt like the team was tired. Like if we had like a midweek game and we had this game, no problem, take the 3 points. I wouldn't say overall we were terrible, but I expected a bit more after they had a few days of rest. They didn't train for 3 days, like glazing the team in the media, saying that, oh, I've never seen them this good, this efficient, blah blah blah. So all that kind of hyped up at least a semi decent performance, and it wasn't a stinker per se, but it's very much just a jammy result in the way that we unfortunately couldn't score our chances. Of course, you probably watched the game. Lamine Yamal missed 2 big chances. Rafinha missing 2 big chances. Now you're probably seeing what I keep talking about in the full flesh. I know everyone's saying Lamine Yamal had his worst game for Barca yesterday, so you probably had a field day calling him dog mal on online the whole entire time. So I'm not surprised about that. Which again is warranted. I don't think he was overall bad. I just think that his final third actions weren't the best. His last final move, the final pass, the finishing, of course. But like you mentioned, after the two Madrid teams dropping points, that was a very successful hate watch day for me. It was important.
Yeah,
It was important to get the 3 points and look at La Liga ahead. I did this video exclusively for a website where I make exclusive content for them, where I was kind of analyzing the schedule for the rest of the season. Barcelona have a very easy schedule from now until May. All of our hard games left in La Liga is in May. The only tough game we have from now until May is in about a month. We have to go to Atletico Madrid, the Metropolitano Stadium. The rest of it is manageable. The away games are against like the lower teams, the middle teams that we have, like a Villarreal, Sociedad. Those are all at home. Tough games at home. Hopefully, we'll get the job done. But we have the Catalunya Derby away in May. We have El Clasico in May. San Mamés, which I've told you a lot, is the stadium that I fear the most. We have that as our final game of the season. So hopefully we have the league done by then. But I think it's looking good for Barcelona. If you look at the two major teams, they have difficult games coming up. I think Atletico have Mestalla. I know Valencia are in the relegation zone, but against the big teams, you've seen them how well they do play. I think Madrid have to go to Betis away. Betis are a decent team, and in that stadium, the Benito Villamarín, Madrid don't have the best of records, so we could see maybe a gap open up. But based on you as a neutral, how do you see this league title race going?
I mean, as I've always seen it, A huge title race. I remember what in October many Barca fans celebrated La Liga title. In January, Madrid fans celebrated the La Liga title. And I remember, I think it was October or November. I had one guy in the comments, an Atletico Madrid fan. He was talking about Atletico being the race. He was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
bro, Atletico." But then
They
I
went on a
saw
crazy
actually,
run. They went on their best run I've seen
I
as a
know.
Barca fan. So I mean, cut me some slack.
No, because then I saw the video you made. You said in your entire like time as a Barca fan, you've never seen a three-horse race like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I can't think of one because all the every oh maybe what season was that?
Tell me which one.
It was I don't think Messi's last season. So the season before that wasn't that like a bit Atletico Real Barca?
No, we had the lead, and then Valverde got sacked. At the end, came in, and we kind of gave it up when we came back from COVID. It was us and it was us and Real Madrid. I thought like Madrid weren't really in it too much. They were always like
Okay,
5, 7 points, behind us, but they could never
okay.
really close the gap. Then we kind of threw it away, and Madrid won it in COVID. Then the next season after that is when Atletico won it. They had a
Okay.
crazy juice squad in COVID, which is probably what helped them a lot. And then the Suarez revenge arc as well helped them a bit.
No, so I'm excited for all the upcoming Barca and Madrid games.
Mhm.
Who's gonna win? Because is it Mbappe? Is it Yamal Barca? Is it Atletico? And then all of you in the UCL as well.
Madrid
So
play more games.
and
We'll
all
see.
of you still in the Copa del Rey as well.
That's what I'm saying. In terms of Spain and like the three big teams, this is the tightest I've seen it. We're all in the semifinal. We're all in the Champions League. We're all in the league title race, separated by 1 point. So it's as tight as you can get. Of course, if Madrid get knocked out tomorrow by Man City, it maybe will give them a bit of an advantage that they won't have any mid. Actually, to be honest, midweek games really won't have too much effect because they have the Copa del Rey games midweek, so they have 2 games leverage on us. But then again, we have this week midweek off. We had last midweek off, so we're kind of refreshing. The whole squad is fit, barring Christensen, who should be back soon. And then of course Ter Stegen and Bernal won't be back till next season. But Ter Stegen might come back early, but he won't play if he comes back early. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. How do you see it from outside looking at it? Who do you think has the advantage? Are there any key points you're worried about? Again, the only big games left is that Barcelona have to play Atletico and Real Madrid, so there's still a Clasico and a Barca Atletico Madrid game. The rest, of course, the Madrid derbies, both of them already happened this season.
I mean, the biggest problem probably for Barca has been the lack of co- f- consistent finishing in front of goal, and that still exists. Like that's been the thing that makes you guys drop points. That still exists. Atletico, I mean, they as you said, they were not in this title race when they were in really bad form. The thing with Atletico, they can always drop off a bit when because they've been win sometimes with like Fugazi goals and so on. Maybe that starts dropping off. Madrid, I don't even understand. Like the game against who did they play? Osasuna. I did even though I knew it was gonna be a tough game, especially away at Osasuna. I saw the game Barca played there last time. So I didn't predict Madrid to drop points. I was like, they can't drop 3 points, 3 games in a row, and they dropped again. So from a neutral, I can't predict it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, who do you
I
think has
want
the advantage though?
Atletico.
You want Atletico? Okay, that's fair.
No, no, no. That's what I want. That's not like logic. That's
Yeah,
just
that's what we
from
want.
the heart.
I know because
From the
you
heart.
you have the agenda, so I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, that one. Like I don't care about Atletico. Are irrelevant for me. It's like
Hmm.
City winning the league. Yeah, it's like if City, Arsenal, Liverpool win a title race. Yeah, I would like City to win it because. But who has the edge? I mean, there's still a Clasico left,
Yeah. So like I said, it's
and
Clasico
Barca
left,
have been
and then
smacking Madrid, so that's 3 extra points for Barca. So maybe
might
Barca.
have an El Clasico Copa del Rey final as well. That's on the table, and that's gonna happen
Yeah,
around middle of April, which I hate, by the way. I hate
they need to rig
they
that.
moved the Copa del Rey a month earlier. I liked it when the last 2 games of the season was the Copa del Rey final and then the Champions League final. That for me is the way to do it. I hate how they moved it back a month. I don't know why.
I want to ask you one question about Yamal,
Mm,
because look, I have, I don't like him, and I
yeah,
want to
no,
troll and so
the,
on.
the 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 most fugazi agenda ever, but we'll allow it.
But one thing I saw in the recent game, even some Barca fans mentioned it.
Mm.
It's how can I say the gestures he made. Like I remember Leva was trying to do some passes to Yamal, and then when Yamal doesn't get it, you just see this.
Yeah,
He raises
it
his
shows.
hands.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me too much 'cause I think the whole entire front three. I did a video today, like analyzing the game, and this season alone in La Liga, Lua, Rafa, and Lamine missed 42 big chances in La Liga. Not just chances, big chances, which means that they probably should have been goals. 42. I think Lua and Rafa missed 16, and Lamine missed 10. And there's frustrations when we have games like this because we score 5-1 against Betis, 7 against Valencia, sure, like we cook. But in moments where we need goals, like in a game like Vallecano yesterday, we want that extra goal to have that cushion. If that header went in at 1-1 in the ninth minute, the whole entire media fans would be in uproar. But when we need goals is when the front three tends to miss. Look, Rafa missed two. Rafa should have had a hat trick. Should have had a hat trick. Missed two breakaways, missed a cutback from Balde. Lua missed two cutbacks from Balde as well. Balde and Pedri were robbed of assists yesterday. Lamine missing two 1v1s as well. So I think it's just general frustration because when they're cooking and when they're scoring goals, they're all lovey-dovey and stuff. And to be fair, Lamine Yamal's not the only one frustrated. Lewandowski shows frustration as well. I saw him moving his hands at Rafinha. Rafinha tends to be the one that stays fairly calm when he misses chances. And then we saw when Lewandowski got subbed off, he was angry. So I
Yeah,
think it was just not a good day at the office for the front three. Again, the one goal we did score was a penalty, and Lewandowski almost missed it. To be fair to him, inside post and in. So I don't look at it too much. I think if he does it on a regular basis, especially when we're winning games and we're scoring, that's where that's where I think probably your arrogant theory comes into strong play. But I'm not too concerned about it. I just think since they all had off days, they're all frustrated, and in a game where you need goals as well is where they'll show it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what I feel like. But yeah, we'll see how it happens in the title race. I guess we could shift focus quickly to PSG. I mean, you're still undefeated in the league. The 1-0 win against Toulouse over the past weekend. Fabian's jammy corner kick goal. And then of course I think you have two big games coming up. Of course Brest you're gonna cruise them no problem. I don't think there will be a Brest remontada, but you never know. We'll see. It's at the park, so I doubt it. Then of course on the weekend you have Lyon in the Le Derby.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
could be maybe your big chance of one of your, I would say, in my opinion, last few big chances of losing your unbeaten run in Liga. How are you looking at the next two games coming up? We saw, of course, there was a few rotations in the last game as well from PSG.
I mean, you should have seen last game. It was probably the most disgusting game I've seen. It was they basically treated the game as a training session. So what we did was we did absolutely nothing. We just kept the ball, lucha ball, U shape, his Spain, just like this. No penetration, no chance creation. We got a fugazi goal from the corner. We never scored from corners. And then after we scored the goal, I don't can't remember we create single chance. We were just passing it around for 40 minutes. I think it has to do with the high intensity games we're playing. Before that, we had Monaco and Brest, two high intensity games, and then we just came and did that. But what it shows me is that Lucha knows exactly how to prioritize games. So now we have the Brest game, we have the Leon game. Those are way more important. And we're just like when we do want to get the 3 points, it's very easy for us to get the 3 points. Um, that's something very mature from this team. Toulouse didn't do anything pretty much. The thing with the Ligue 1 games, I think every Ligue 1 game now from now on will become harder than it should be because I think every single team would want to break that unbeaten streak,
Mm-hmm.
especially now Leon and Marseille. They would, especially Marseille, they would love to end this
You have
unbeaten
Marseille but
streak.
at home though, right? So you should be okay. And plus, their only chance to really beat you is away from home, I think.
Actually, if you look at like their last victory against us was in the league at home. And at their stadium, I think they haven't scored against us the last like 6, 7 games. So they're
Mm-hmm.
actually worse at their own
It's
stadium.
kind of like Barcelona too, where I feel like in Clásicos, the home game for Barcelona at the Camp Nou is always like a draw, or we'll get like a
Yeah,
5-1, 5-0 win. And at the Bernabeu is where we always cook them. I remember in the 18-19 season, the one where we had Anfield, there was five Clásicos. I think three, no, there was four Clásicos, two at each stadium, and we cooked them in both. But then there was one where we had a draw in the cup, Then we went to them and we clapped them in the Bernabeu 3-0. So that week was great. We had two games against Madrid, birth at the Bernabeu on a Sunday and a Wednesday, back to back. We won 4-0 on aggregate in both games. 1-0 in the league, then 3-0 in the cup. Take me back, man. Take me back. But yeah, I feel like that, like you said, now that the unbeaten streak is gonna get more recognition as well. Um, these will definitely try and beat you. But I think I'll go on to the next topic now, which is the UCL draw, which is gonna be on Monday. We're both gonna be in it, although you're not confirmed you're gonna be in it. There is a 50-50 chance that we're gonna play each other, man. First season of the show, and we're already having a game,
Already,
already having a game
already.
against each other. I think it's gonna happen. I will put some good money on that. I know they're gonna have the hot balls. They want to have PSG and Barcelona because the storylines there is much better than a PSG Liverpool game. So I think it's gonna happen. But going into that draw again, you will be the underdogs against Barcelona and Liverpool, whoever you face, just based on like betting odds. You might feel
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah.
So if you do get knocked out that early in round 16, then maybe potentially the unbeaten round, like you mentioned beforehand, when you almost got knocked out in the group stages, it'll have that more importance from PSG. I think if someone does it now, it might even derail your season a little bit. But what are your thoughts on the draw on Friday? What are your thoughts on definitely getting one of Barca and Liverpool? And I know your theory is that you want Liverpool so you can reach Barcelona in the finals. But what are your thoughts on the
Yeah.
draw?
I mean, very excited, especially because we just played Brest. This is the least UCL. I mean, there's around the 32 already feels weird, and then we played Brest, so it felt like we haven't played UCLs in the group stages. We come back with a bang, either first or second, and there's still a lot of people doubting Paris Saint-Germain. And there's one argument I can still understand, which is during our great run, 18 unbeaten streak, we haven't faced like a top tier side that can prove to everyone,
Apart
all
from
right,
City,
this
City
PSG
were
team is
good.
there.
City are a good team. Maybe if they had
I
Nico in
know,
that
but
game, would be different.
City, like they've lost to Arsenal, they've lost to,
They were down bad.
I
They
don't know,
were
probably
down bad, but
Bournemouth or
I'll give you credit for
Nottingham.
that way. I still think beating City in Champions League when they were 2-0 up as well, that has to be given some credit. So I think one good team in your 18 games.
All right, yeah. So one good. I mean, Monaco are cheeky, but maybe not that standard.
Not coming back, no.
Um, but no, I couldn't be happy because that means this is a great test for the players and to prove to our fans and everyone that we are the best team in the. So if we beat Barca, we should be the unequivalent favorites for the UCL. If we beat Liverpool, there's still Barca. So we should be at least equivalent the second favorite for the
Mhm.
UCL or the first.
I will say this: the quarterfinals for, let's say, for example, we face each other or you face Liverpool, the quarterfinals is quite favorable. So that's why I hope that we get Benfica or Monaco. That way, if we get them, we beat them, the quarterfinals is favorable. Then the real test really comes to the semifinal, where I think we face like either Atletico, Arsenal, Inter, somewhere down there. But I think for us, we face like either Atlanta, Dortmund, or like Sporting, something like that, which makes it's a little bit difficult, but still manageable. I'm someone who always wants the easy draw all the way. I know you're someone that likes the big gains because to be fair, you are stuck in Liga, so I kind of understand that. But I hope that we don't get PSG. I hope we get the easier draw. We cruise to the semifinal. Semifinal we lock in, then final we lock in. That's my perspective. I think if we get PSG, I'm just worried that it's gonna affect us in the league in the Copa del Rey as well, especially since now we have Atletico Madrid. We're undefeated in 2025, but we won't be undefeated in 2025 from now to the end of the season. So there's gonna be a point where we do lose and drop. So I hope that's not gonna be in that crucial point because we're gonna have Champions League, Cup, and League like all back to back to back in March. And I'm gonna be fasting as well. Well, we're gonna be fasting, so I'm not trying to get I'm trying to get angry while watching the Barcelona, but I do hope we avoid PSG. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Barcelona getting PSG. It's just all the stars really alive, especially what happened last season. PSG want to prove themselves. Barcelona want revenge. It's a 50-50, so.
That's the thing. There's one guy I want revenge, but it can only happen in the Champions League final. Hansi Flick. So for me, that's how the stars are aligning. Hansi Flick in the UCL final. Everything on odds. Everything is there. It's oh
But don't you think your team is, I guess, of course, your front three is on fire right now. Dembele is cooking. Kvaratskhelia is doing well. Barcola's doing well. but are you not worried about maybe the middle of your team, which is the pivot and the defense? I know Joao Neves, of course, fantastic, and Vitinha as well. Maybe they're not really natural pivots against top teams. It's kind of like Frankie De Jong for us. I always say that Frankie De Jong should start these, kind of middle to tougher games, because when you have Casado in there, you lose that ability to go forward, to spray passes, the vision, which of course Joao Neves and Vitinha are good at. But against good teams like your Bayerns, I can say for PSG, Madrid, Arsenal, whatever, you want to have someone more like Casado, where he wins the ball back, he intercepts passes, he keeps the play calm.
Yeah.
So are you not worried maybe about PSG's middle in tougher games?
I mean, hopefully Warren comes back soon because he got injured in the Stuttgart game. I've still not, not been entirely happy with him, but as you said, that defensive stability balance, he covers whenever Hakimi pushes up and plays more defensive than Neves and Vitinha. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the main one. My main question mark about this team is players that have a potential Bozo moment in them, which is I have to say Nuno Mendes. He's had many UCL Bozo moments recently. When Akanji cooked him, that was embarrassing. Donnarumma, we know his history in the Champions League knockout stages. We know Marquinhos' history in the knockout stages. So for me, that's the most worrying thing. But that's also what I loved about the City game is that we had two Bozo moments, but we still smacked City. And for me, that's the main important thing. That even if that happens, our attackers, our midfielders can still make us generate the win. So I would say that's my biggest concern. And then another concern. I mean, you said Kvara. Kvara, honestly, he last game he wasn't that good. He obviously didn't start the Brest game. Come on as a substitute, wasn't good either from the bench. So it's also a bit of Dembele reliance. Barcola in the Brest game missed like two big
Don't be doing
chances.
that. Don't be doing that.
Yeah, this is another Dembuz, baby. This
Listen,
is
listen, man. When you rely on Dembele, that's when
man,
he lets
here
you
we
down.
go.
When Dembele is kind of like an outside shell, kind of being low key, that's when he shines. But when you rely on him, when you want him to shirt up, that's where he lets you down. So I'm telling you, what have I said to you? I've always said that for me, Dembele is one of the best wingers in the world once he gets his finishing to a T. Now you're seeing over the past month and a half, his finishing has been great. That's why he's getting goals and that's why he's performing. As soon as
Yeah,
that finishing reaches, Vinicius 2017-18 vibes again, that's where he's cooked. And we've seen that at Barcelona, the 18-19 season. That first 3 months, he was on fire. I think 15 goals, scoring, bangers against PSV in the Champions League, getting his big goals. In the La Liga as well, then got injured, fell off, could not regain himself. Then when his best spell under Xavi was a lot to do with his playmaking, creating chances, getting assists, not really goal scoring. So when you rely on Dumbus to score goals, that's where I feel like he lets you down the most. But again, maybe in France, the vibe is better, so we'll
no,
see.
I know he's the same player. I just don't think because first of all, he's the main man. He was never like the main man of Bar. I mean, he was the main like attacking man, somewhat under Xavi, like playmaking hub and so
Probably
on.
before we signed like Rafa and Lua and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, about Dembuz now, I can't predict anything because what he's doing, not even Messi, Ronaldo were doing. I don't know if you've seen that
Oh my god, the
stat.
stats are like the goals in the first few
Like,
games.
oh my days,
Listen, Ronaldo, Messi
Dembele,
finished with like
man.
50 goals in the season, but Dembele will probably finish with like 23 at best.
No, look. Whenever he scores a goal, I say out of 91. He's at the moment 15 out of 91.
Oh my
Look,
god, man.
when we were playing Brest, he didn't have that good of a game. Scored two big goals for us. And then the last 20 minutes, I was like, the boys give me a hat trick. After he just scored another hat trick in the
I'll
UCL,
give him the credit. That back-to-back hat
I
trick
was like,
was
am I
crazy.
insane? I was like, am I insane? I'm wishing Dembele to score another hat. Last season, I was praying for a goal.
I know, that's what
This
I'm
season, I'm
saying.
praying for a hat.
That's what I'm saying, man. I
So
just on a good run. I've seen it. I'm telling you, man.
he
There's
is.
nothing.
No, he is heavily overperforming. He is
There is
because
nothing
this is
that
unnatural.
you've seen from Dembele that I haven't seen yet. When I see something different, no, I promise you. When I see something different, I will let you know. The back-to-back hat tricks are, it bolstered up like his rep with PSG fans. But 2 goals and a 1 goal here in 2 different games is the same thing. I'm telling you, I've seen it before. So when you face Liverpool or Barca, then you pray on you need Dembele to score a goal. That's what
No,
he'll sky it. That's what he'll do. That's when Dembele will run around 5 players 1v1 and sky it. That's dumb boost in a nutshell.
but but why don't you want to accept that this is just another Dembele?
I mean, again, like I said to you, if I see different than boost, if I think that he's improving, I will mention it. I have no problem. If you look at my tweets and my videos back in the day, I've always said Dembele 1v1, one of the best, if not the best in the world. His dribbling, being able to do both feet, he's fantastic. That's why Barca fans didn't want to lose him. It's just the way that he left, which is kind of, made us salty.
Yeah.
And again, like Vinicius back when he signed for Real Madrid, the finishing from Dembele is the most unpredictable thing in this earth. There's a better chance of, Korea and North and South Korea going at war than Dembele scoring, 40 goals this season. You just don't know. Because if he scores, if he's on it, I've seen him score bangers. I've seen him send the ball 1v1 outside the Camp Nou. I've seen them all. That's why I'm not, so surprised by it. Until I see like jaw dropping, wow, like this guy's consistent now. He's, not missing too many chances. The finishing is unreal. That's what I'm like, you know what? Yes, he's improving. This is a different boost what I'm seeing.
So how long? How long does he need to? Because I still agree. It's like it's not a big sample size yet. So how long does it? It's until the end of the season.
If he
Until
does
the
this from
quarters?
now until April, I'll give him. I'll say, yeah, this is different than boost. Even just
Okay,
for 2 months
okay.
or
No,
so.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not even. There's not that much. Again, the player is fantastic when he's fit. Again, the issue with Barcelona is that he's been fit and then he wasn't fit and doesn't score his chances. Now he's fit and he's scoring everything that he's producing. I'm pretty sure his shot conversion rate right now in 2025 is through the roof. But you've seen
Yeah.
him in the beginning, in the first half of the season, miss probably 4 of the hat tricks that he scored. You're probably walking away when he's watching games. Dembele should have had a brace. Like what I'm doing with Rafinha now. Although Rafinha's numbers this season are doing well, he's scoring more than he's missing. But you've seen the first half season. Remember the 1v1 against Girona, he should be scoring. There was another one. I think maybe against Atletico. That's what I remember from Champions League. But you watching him in Liga and stuff, you've seen it, right? So until he makes that consistently where he's scoring more than he's missing, that's where now I'll give him like the choo props. I've seen this version of Dembele, so let's see if he goes up
Yeah,
from there.
and then it's also big. Like now we're gonna face Liverpool or Barca, and we need. How I'm expecting
Because if
two
Dembele's
or
off, yeah,
two or three goals across both
if
legs.
Dembele's not firing, where do you expect your goals from? Oh, like a Fugazi corner kick from Vitinha or Fabian Ruiz, maybe a one game where Balco that gets his brace. There's no right now. You're relying heavily on Dembele to at least score a goal from his 3 chances that he gets in the game, right? So if he's off it, that's where I think PJ may struggle. We talked about, of course, centrally where they may look defensively, even up front, since there's no natural growth there. Since Coach Ramos kind of more so has molded into off the bench, kind of like Ferran Torres is for Barcelona. Because you got to start for your front 3 is going to be Dembus, Kavicia, and Barcola, right?
Yes and no. I mean, Due has been performing really well, and
True.
Kvara
Yes.
hasn't
Yes.
picked
Yes.
up form. Yeah, so it could be. But even if Do it again, he's not a good goal scorer. He misses he's not a good goal. It's all about Barcola taking that because this entire season for Barcola, it's been can he take that goal scoring step? He has scored, I think, 17 goals this season, which is really good for Barcola in his career where he's going. I still feel that pressure shouldn't be on him. This is his third professional season, but unfortunately, we are in a situation we are. So Barcola has to pick it up. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he scored versus City, he scored versus Stuttgart, but then obviously he missed like 2 big chances in the Brest game. Wasn't that good. So yeah, if Dembele doesn't do it, Barcola needs to do it. So, but it's heavy pressure on Dembele.
Mm-hmm. But the issue,
So we'll see.
my point summed up is that when the pressure, like you mentioned, is on Dembele and he doesn't turn up, you will be more angry at Dembele. Because like, oh, you're scoring hat tricks against Brest and then against Salzburg, but we need at least a goal or two the most in a game like Liverpool or Barcelona. That's where you show the frustration, especially if he misses like clear cut chances, like like the one against Girona and stuff like that. That's where the frustration will come in. That for me is Dembus in a nutshell. So we'll see if that happens or not. It could be different. The signs are good, but until it happens, I would say
Yeah.
keep calm, keep calm. But yeah, we'll see. I think the Champions League is this Friday, so maybe we'll even do a
Yes.
video afterwards if we do when we probably draw each other, which I think will be hilarious. So someone here in the chat is mentioning that PSG are interested in Lookman again. It's apparently new reports coming out. I want to ask you this very
Right.
quickly because you were in for Jean Duran in the winter about getting that natural striker in. Is that still going to be the same case this summer, or are you going to be again just loading your front 3 with wingers and just playing Luis Enrique false 9 ball?
I think the main priority is still false nine. I think John Duran is mostly because he's mostly used as a sub sub at Villa. I see him mostly as a substitute for we get rid of Gonzalo and then John Duran becomes this young guy, starts some like the bad league games and comes off the bench and has impact. But I still see Lucho wanting because his most important thing is that his nine is part of. He's very good at link up.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at link up and can be involved in the game. The goals he feels will come eventually, either from the Booz Barcola or that guy. So he doesn't have this like we need one top guy that scores all the goals. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't know. And the Lookman report, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Just to quickly end off on talking about our two teams, I want to ask you very quickly. We touched about it a little bit. I want to go more in depth. Is on that the derby this weekend. How are you feeling going to that game, especially with the best game being tomorrow as well? Are you a bit worried about the fixture congestion, fitness wise? You think this could be an would you see this as maybe the biggest chance of you losing a game and losing that unbeaten run in Liga?
No, so we had the Toulouse game. As we put in like 30% intensity. Like fans got mad for how our players did not care about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Lyon, we have like a Coupe de France tie against a shit team. And this Brest tie, we don't even have to put insane intensity because we're already 3-0 up. So, no, I think Luis Enrique has perfectly. I mean, we have a lucky draw in the Coupe de France, and then how we played the Toulouse game, that Lyon game, we'll treat it with 100% intensity as a huge game, which it is because Lyon, very talented team. They just got Fonseca as their new manager,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I can't wait. I
The
got
uh
man, Lyon.
the old AC Milan coach, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um I guess let's talk about now something that we both have in common, and that is the hatred towards Real Madrid. Of course,
Madrid,
of course, they're
Madrid.
going crazy in the media right now. We, of course, I watched the Osasuna game. You watched the Osasuna game. What are your thoughts on Jude's red card? Do you think it was a red card or not, based
I
on
mean,
what's come out and stuff? Hey, I'll give you my opinion. So if he said fuck off, it shouldn't be a red card. If he says fuck you, it should be. But from the images we've seen from Movie Star where they saw the conversation, they have no angle of where Jude Bellingham says fuck off. He was talking about talking with respect and he turns his head, so we don't really know what he says. So maybe I'm just clutching at straws here. But I do think that it's probably a yellow card offense, but what he's been doing over the past week, maybe saying, fuck you to the Atletico Madrid linesman, maybe had a little bit of a impact on his decision. But what are your thoughts on that? Thoughts on Madrid still 4 days later still crying about it and crying about referees in La Liga in general?
so when I saw how, first of all, because I was live during that game,
Mm-hmm.
and how Madrid fans were obviously Barca fans are gonna say it's a red card, like obviously,
No,
but
I said
Madrid
this.
fans
I
were
was talking about our
complaining.
defense. Like, look, it depends on what he said. We'll get the leaks and the referee reports afterwards. The referee report said that he said "fuck you." If that's the case, it's a red. But the media and the cameras are saying he said "fuck off." So if he said "fuck off"
Yeah,
for me, it's a yellow. If he said "fuck you," then it's a red.
yeah. So I saw a lot of people have that opinion. What I said was, from what I know in the rules, if you go up to the referee and critique him, like overly critique, especially if you're not the captain,
That's a
you will
good
get
point.
a yellow.
Yeah.
And if you use a slur word, that can directly lead to a straight red card. What I did was the day after, I went in, I read the referee rules, law 12 of misconduct. If you use a slur word or anything like that, it's a straight red card. The issue is not most referees implement it, even though it's part of the rules. So I was like, yeah, no, this is a deservedly red card. And as you said, because I even remember I watched a Gary Neville video. He was talking with the referee, and he said referees take stuff from previous games into hand. And Bellingham not even getting a card for that when everyone everyone that was watching the game heard what he said. No, he had to.
I
He's
think
such
that
a
definitely
fucking
played a little
arrogant
bit of
fuck.
a role.
He's so disgusting, man.
What I
So
hate is that
disgusting.
the Madrid now are crying about referee decisions. I think they talked about the 3 games now where they've had decisions go against them, which is also a red card for Bellingham, penalty against Atletico, red card for on Mbappe against Espanyol. That Espanyol one was crazy. That should have been a red. I will. I'm always honest and fair. That for me should have been a red. That tackle behind. The Julian Alvarez penalty was a penalty. The Jude Bellingham red card, it's 50-50. If it comes down to the referee's opinion, you just hold it. So they've had, in their opinion, 3 decisions go against them that's cost them points in each game because they didn't win any of the 3. They lost, drew, and drew. And they've had an absolute field day in the media. I'm there sitting here thinking that, yo, me as a Barca fan, I've seen so much go against us, more than Madrid. There's a reason why we call it Madrid's league, because they run everything. There's a reason why we call Perez Papa Perez, because he pays everyone and he runs everything. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, I've never. It's like a baby losing his lollipop and he just won't stop crying till he gets it back. So they just need everything in their favor. And I saw a chart that's like, oh, points, the La Liga table with VAR and the La Liga table without VAR. Apparently Madrid would be like 4 points clear without VAR. And I'm thinking, thank God there's VAR. They're coming and correcting the mistakes. That's the whole point of having Vinicius as a referee. That just proves the point of why we should have it. You would be 5 points clear when you shouldn't be 5 points clear. And the outburst for me is crazy. You have Valverde coming out in press conference saying that, oh, I know that the referees are against us, blah, blah, blah. I cannot believe my eyes. And then they're crying about Barcelona games as well, where they still had they've had 10 penalties this season awarded to them by La Liga. They said that last night that there should have the offside goal was onside when it was offside because Inteka fouls and gets involved with Inigo, who was trying to put a tackle in for the shot. And that happened to Barcelona twice last season as well. Then they bring up Negreira, where Negreira was only until 2018. And again, we didn't pay for referee decisions. We paid for referee reports based on how they judge fouls and yellow cards. It is crazy. Then you have the biggest and the part that I love about the most is Ancelotti. This fucking hypocrite. Last season was saying, "Oh, Xavi, talk about the referees. I'm a man. I don't care about referees. We go out and play. We go out and play our game." And now, for the past week, he will not stop crying about referees. The hypocrisy is just unbelievable. What are your thoughts, though, from your Madrid hate perspective?
For me, all the 3 games I watched, the Espanyol game, the Osasuna game, and the Atletico game, the main thing that made Madrid drop points was not the referee decisions. It was Madrid being absolute fucking garbage.
Dog shit.
If I was a Madrid fan, I would say what Vini missed 2 gigantic chances in the Osasuna game. They were mid against Atletico at home.
The Mbappe run in the 90th minute. I thought he was gonna score that against Osasuna, the 1v1.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, Mbappe had the 1v1, remember? Where the keeper saved it? Where he elbowed the player running towards the shot?
No, I think I missed that. I think I missed that because it was so much the Bellingham.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah. They've had so many. I think, again, for me, the red card against Espanyol maybe would have changed the game because they would have had 10v11. Sure, I'll concede that was a clear red in my books and they end up losing the game. But the Julian Alvarez penalty was a clear penalty. I saw people saying that Alvarez put his foot under Tchouaméni. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, so they're saying that Tchouaméni's foot didn't go down this. They said it stayed like this, and then Lino just put it here and then fall off. And I'm like, even if that's true, it's still a penalty because Lino is just using Tchouaméni's disgusting. The most disgusting one I saw this is some black dude on Instagram. He's a Madrid fan. You know the penalty that Osasuna got?
Yeah.
They said that was not a pen. Camavinga just going into him, probably saying the ball had already gone.
I saw people saying that Indigo. Do you think the penalty for Vallecano yesterday for Barcelona was a penalty?
Which penalty?
Yesterday for Barcelona.
Oh, your penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying when I was watching the game that if they didn't give it, I would understand because in the end the keeper punched it out. If the ball came to Inigo and he couldn't connect with it because the player took him down, clear penalty for me. But since the ball didn't come to him, it wouldn't have made a difference. So they let that slide. I wouldn't have been too disappointed. But the foul and the action is a clear penalty, and I'm seeing Madrid fans saying that it was a penalty. It was so soft. We do that. We get that all the time against us. We don't get penalties. You've had double digits in penalties this season. Remember last season where Barcelona had 1 penalty the whole year when Xavi won the double in his first season. We had, I think, no penalties that whole season given to us whatsoever in La Liga, anyways. It's just. This is the problem. No. Now they want to say that, oh, we want to leave Spain. He ain't leaving shit, man. They ain't leaving shit.
Yo, if they come to us, we will fucking smack them, man. They ain't touching a league title in 10 years if they come to Liga, man. because there's no fucking referees here. And yeah, one thing I look, even if the fans want to cry about it, all right, they have a fucking shit mentality. But for example, when we had remontada against us, when we'd had
Yo,
we
but the
Madrid had
remontada, man. What raw decision was in the remontada? The Di Maria penalty, okay. The rest was all valid, man.
no, the Suarez penalty. I
No,
can
this
never accept that.
Marquinhos knees him in the calf. That's a clear penalty.
Yes.
Clear penalty. Clear. The
But that, and then Madrid have also robbed us. Madrid have in the UCL, and
wait. The funniest part was that Ancelotti said that, oh, I prefer the Champions League referees over La Liga. And I said,
yeah,
whoa. First of all, Spanish referees referee in the Champions League, you fucking idiot. The referee that refereed against Osuna, Jose Muniera, referees in the Champions League. You buffoon. Secondly, there's a reason why the referees in the Champions League are more favorable than Real Madrid. There's a reason why you've won 7 Champions League in the past 10 years. Because they fugazi it for you. They help you. Since VAR, it's been much harder, and they've had much harder draws, and they've gotten results. So credit to them. Those ones I respect. But the three-peat was nothing but fugaziness from every single game they had from the knockout rounds. Because in the group stages, no one cares. And he's talking about, oh, I love the Champions League referees more than La Liga. For one of the greatest managers of all time, he's a real dumbass to say that.
no, he's turning into a bum, man.
Oh
He's a
my
huge
god.
downfall. I remember last season when they played Leipzig away, and they scored early on, and then they found some interrupting the play on
Yeah.
Lunin. I was like, yeah, that only happens to Madrid. If that happened to any other team, they would say no,
And
it's
when
too
remember when last
soft.
season when Vinicius punched Orthman, the center back for Leipzig, in the middle of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pitch,
yeah, yeah.
nothing there as well. I mean, I've never seen Barcelona get away with a decision ever that I can remember off the top of my head, something like significant, where I could name you like 20 of Madrid off the top of my head right now. You told me right now, name 20, I could do it easily. I mean, look at the Lewandowski VAR this season. Lewandowski touched his nose, got a forward game ban, and Flick was waved his hands up, got a red card, and got suspended for a game. We never have decisions. For us, it has to be, clear and obvious. The penalties that we've gotten this season, all clear penalties. Half the Madrid penalties they've gotten this season are not. Maybe some you could say are 50-50 and the referee decides it, which again, fair enough. They, of course, robbed Celta Vigo in the cup as well. All this, they say they don't get referee decisions. A couple of decisions go against them and they lose their minds. You know the show El Chiquito TV, the big show in Madrid?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
They brought
main
like
the
a
main guy. First of all, they did an hour program talking about the difference between fuck you and fuck off. I'm like, oh my god, let it go. He gets a 1 game ban and everyone moves on. They act like he's about to be banned for 20 games or something. And in 1 hour discussing the difference between fuck you and fuck off. But in that show, the main guy, Josep Pedrola, the announcer and the owner, he said like 2 weeks ago, Barcelona complain about referees, but Madrid don't. We work in silence and we're leaders of La Liga. 2 weeks later, they now lost their place in the Liga, and he's sitting there crying about referees. It's just nothing but hypocrisy. It's the reason why God hates hypocrites.
no. What I don't understand is even if Madrid are being robbed in daylight, why are your players crying about it? That's not the right mentality. This is not the mentality of a team that has won 15 UCLs.
And
This
look
is
at
the
Flick.
mentality of a team that has fugazied 15 UCLs, man.
Look at Flick. Flick has, when he came at the beginning of the season, he told the players never to argue with the referees. Don't waste your time with it. And this season, we've seen that a lot. Of course, Barcelona in the past would complain a little bit in the referee on the pitch, then move on. But this season we haven't, and you can see how money maybe that helps us get favorable decisions. Because when you're nice to the referees, they'll be nice back. This is why we paid the get up 8 million over 8 years to figure out what the player or the referee's personal preferences are, how they give out yellows and fouls. That way we can get more favorable decisions on our side. This is not paying the referee. If you're nice to me in a game, maybe if you have a yellow card challenge, I'll just say to you, hey, int,
Yeah.
warning, man. Next time I'll give you a yellow. Same thing, same perspective. And they're out here losing their minds over 3 decisions. It just shows how weak they are. It just shows, I think, how embarrassing they are as well for a big club like them to be crying over this many decisions. They're talking about leaving the federation, getting new referees, and all this stuff. I said, oh my god, I don't think in my life I've seen a bigger overreaction.
No, biggest crap. And the thing, about Bellingham, I want to mention is Bellingham and Madrid are playing the narrative. He didn't say it to the referee. He said it to himself.
Yeah.
when it's like he's talking to a referee and then he says, "Fuck off." That's obviously to the referee. So they are lying and lying. Yo, City tomorrow. Pep,
Oh, oh.
please, Pep.
So look,
Look, I
if
went bald
Madrid
for Pep.
if
This is for Pep.
if Madrid get knocked out, it'd be bad for me because that means they have less games. They can focus on La Liga and the Cup. But I'll take it, man. Hopefully with Nico now in the team, City have a much better system. They just clapped Newcastle 4-0. Oh man, the things I would
They can't
do.
blame referees. Or they would
Uh,
say everything is corrupt. Everyone's against us.
oh my god, I hate it. It annoys me because everything is with them, and they're still crying. At least back in the day, like yeah, we own the referees. Hold that. Here's our Champions League trophy. Sure, that they can rub that in our faces. But now, when things are still on their side, I would argue they're crying as if they've lost everything. It's crazy. The VAR table one pissed me off the most. Complaining that oh VAR we have less points. That's because the fucking correct decision was made, you idiots. There's my
Look,
rigid red. Hopefully they get clapped. I just hope they go
you probably
trophyless.
haven't seen this, but I mean, Marseille 10 points behind us, but a lot of their fans are complaining about VAR. So what I've noticed, losers just complain, and winners, is it winners? I don't know, celebrate something. They
We
don't care.
Barcelona, us, we never complain. We always complain when things happen in the moment. Remember the Lewandowski offside against Sociedad? That the lines were
Yeah,
put wrong. We cried about that for the night of the game. Moved on after that. Like, you know what? We can't change it. What can you do? Whatever. Laporta asked for like the audio of the VR, which was never released, by the way. So we don't know what the VR was saying. That's it. The on the line against Lunin in the Clasico and the Bernabeu. Remember that last season where we had the corner from Lamine Yamal headed and Lunin the ball went in, but he hit it out. There's no goal line
yeah, yeah,
technology.
yeah, yeah.
That we cried for that for a day. We moved on because we know we're team is shit anyways. We're behind 10 points. We're not gonna waste our time arguing it. Although that goal was counted and we won the game, the points would have been reduced to 4. So you never know. All these things. This is why Barcelona are a better club, man. Much more mature. Even the season where we only got one penalty, we'd cry about the clear penalty that wasn't given on the night. Then we move on. It's been 4 days. I'm still seeing them making videos between the difference between fuck you and fuck off. It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's get into some of your chats before we end the show today. I think a lot of people asking about Lamine Yamal, about the social media agenda. Look, I mean, you know, Yamal has now played 100 games as a professional, which I think is crazy at 17 in a year and a half for Spain and for Barcelona. I think it's 83 for Barcelona and then like 17 for Spain. And to have this output, to have this, the football recognition, I think is huge. And like I said a lot, his finishing isn't the best, but he still has double digits in both goals and assists. And for me, that shows the level of his quality. I think once he wins trophies and stuff, once he turns like 21, PG's agenda might die down a little bit. But since he's 17, he's gonna keep pushing the dogma until he can. Imagine,
No, no, no.
imagine, imagine we draw each other in the Champions League and he just dunks a hat trick on you at the park. You know how crazy that would be? I would never let that go. By the way, if that happened, I would never let
I
that
mean,
go.
Yamal has 2 UCL goals in 14 games. The likelihood of him scoring a hat trick
It's
versus
low.
us
It's like
is
the likelihood of Dembele doing consistency over the next 2 months. But like, imagine
no,
hat
no,
trick, hat trick
no, no.
at
Yamal is way worse.
hat trick
Yamal
at
is
the
way
park.
worse than Dembele's finishing.
Hat trick at the park would be crazy. Every time you just do a dog melt too, I'll just drop a picture of that. Whatever. Even if we even lose the tie, I wouldn't care.
No, no. I know if even Yamal just needs one goal. If Yamal scores one goal against PSG, yeah, then I'm so
At the
pleased.
park as
I'm
well,
so
man. Again, Barcelona love the away games. Like that's what we thrive upon to like gloat to people. We don't really gloat about what we do in our stadium. We gloat about what we do in your stadium. Like for example, Madrid. We always talk about our Bernabeu match of class. Winning there five. What was it? 4-0, 3-0, 4-0. All these big games, even against Atletico as well. So that's why we need a big game. That's why we always see the Rafinha, celebration from the park last year because Barcelona fans love to, gloat about doing it and then doing it in your stadium as well.
yeah.
So that's how they see it. So let's see if there's any questions here in the chat. If you don't want to leave La Liga, they can go to the third division and play Barca Athletic El Clasico. They're not gonna leave. They just keep saying that. Even Barcelona said that a year ago as well. It's just PR. It's all PR.
But didn't you say it for like Catalonia stuff? I remember when you could have joined us.
No, it's just against all PR. No club. Even when we had the Super League, no club is gonna leave their country's league. It's just stupid. It just doesn't make sense. So
I- Isn't Liga a great vibe? Imagine Barca PSG.
that's like I'd rather have El Clasico, man. The one game, the 2 games you look forward to the season. I feel like Liga would just be a 2 horse race for a lifetime, which is boring. Because you'll win
No,
some,
no,
we'll
no,
win
no.
some.
You got Paris FC. No, who knows? Maybe Madrid join us because they're obsessed.
How would the home and away games work? We'd be traveling across countries to play games. It's already bad enough.
Yeah, no, Catalonia just joins France. It's already close to it.
If they did, that'd be hilarious. But I don't think that's a reality. Marquinhos had to get for PSG. That'd be nice. I'd rather have Lamine Yamal. I know Lamine Hatcher would just piss off in way more. I think Rafinha Hatcher he'd be like whatever. I don't think he'd be too bothered.
Uh, the thing is, Rafinha, there is actually a likelihood he could do it
Yeah.
because,
Predictions
especially come.
predictions for the leg between Barca and PSG. I mean, we'll cross. That's gonna happen, so we'll save that chat later on. If it doesn't happen, maybe we'll talk about it. If the PSG get Liverpool, maybe we can hint about a potential final. But I have a strong feeling in my balls that Barcelona is gonna get PSG. I'd bet good money on it if I was a betting man. So Dogma's ego is disgusting. Is it, bro? The fact that y'all getting rattled by a 17-year-old is crazy.
But what is that like? Okay, so if we say he has an ego, should we say no? He's just 17. I mean, I don't care about his age. Like
I mean, I guess, but I still personally don't think he has an ego. I think ego is someone who does it on a consistent basis, who's rubbing it in. If he's dropping like comps, you know who has
yeah,
an
he's
ego?
diving as well.
You know who has an?
He's starting to dive as well.
Oh my god, the one against Vicon. The player stepped on his foot. He just played acted. It's still a foul. But you know who has someone who has an ego, for example? You see what James Madison did with Roy Keane?
Mm-mm.
So Roy Keane has a show called The Overlap where he talks to Gary Neville and stuff. He said that James Madison was shit, that he doesn't really have an impact on Spurs. Then what happened? Madison scored against United. Remember how they won 1-0 the watch along? He shushed the camera. He was shushing at Roy
Mm.
Keane. He then made a TikTok compilation shushing Roy Keane, and he posted it on his own TikTok. That for me is ego. You're rubbing in a 1-0 jammy goal against the worst United team ever to shush Roy Keane, whose legacy will be remembered forever and yours won't be. We almost forgot about Dele Alli. James Daz is going to be the same thing. That for me is ego. Where Lamine Yamal isn't doing that. I think maybe I can understand your frustration since it was PSG where you said, "Oh, I think I'll score a goal and we'll win." I understand that coming from your end, but from the outside looking in, maybe like a Liverpool fan looking at it or a Bayern Munich fan, because we see it all the time with interviews. They may not say they'll score themselves, but they say that they'll win. Of course, what are they gonna say? They're gonna say they're gonna lose. So if he's
No,
dropping
I'm
like,
okay with winning. It was scoring, and he had
yeah,
zero. I was no.
yeah, since it was your team, I get that. But I think if a Bayern fan or Arsenal fan looked at that, they wouldn't see that as ego. I think the only way that I would admit that Lamine has an ego is if he's dropping comps of himself left, right, center. He's getting frustrated in games where he doesn't score, doesn't get the penalty. He shows it, which he isn't. So I think he's very
Okay,
much.
okay, okay. I've won. All right. This
Mm,
is again just a small thing, just an Instagram picture. So when you guys lost to Monaco, he posted an Instagram picture because he guys.
to it way too much. That's just that is some next level reading into it. You tell me he posted nothing after Benfica, or just didn't post a picture of himself?
No, he didn't post it. I don't. Yeah, no, he didn't post a single thing. As maybe he posted, a story, but he didn't post like a picture.
Uh I mean that's just crazy reading into it. I think you're just too deep into the Lamine Yamal hate. That's just crazy.
Yamal.
So I think was it trouble with Barcelona? I think that's where your agenda will end because you just drop a dogmail tweet or something like that. We just drop the UCL pic of him molding it, then you're cooked at that point. So pray for his downfall because if he wins, then you're imagine he wins
No,
the Ballon
look.
d'Or. Oh my god, I'm seeing a lot of Barca fans pushing for Pedri now to win the Ballon d'Or, which
I
is
mean, yeah, he's. I think Pedro's been your best player this season. Uh,
I think that I've always said this. Our best player this season has been Rafinha. Our most important player is Lamine Yamal. And our most consistent player is Pedri. That's how I've always said it. I think if we go and win a treble, for example, or win big trophies enough for our players to be in the contention for Ballon d'Or. I think Rafinha will win it. The Brazilian vibe, the stats for him are just way on his side. I think Lewandowski would need to hit like 40, 50 goals for him to dethrone Rafinha, which he won't. I think right now he's on 30 something. If he pushes 50, maybe he can get the agenda going. Like, oh, he was robbed in 2020. He had a good season now, so let's give it to him.
True.
That could happen as well. To be honest, if just someone wins it, I'll take it. I think it's been a really, really even season. I wouldn't give it to Lamine. Maybe Rafa or Lua or Pedri if things still go his trajectory. I guess
Bro, Pedri.
we could end up by talking about Pedri because since you saw the game yesterday, do you think now he's the best midfielder in the world?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like last season, it was fun hating on Pedri because he was injured. It wasn't that good, but Pedri, no. Ever since that, what was it, 2021 with the pink shirts,
Mm,
that season, Pedri's first season, like how he and Messi was linking up the back
mm,
heels. I knew he was the future. But what for like 2 seasons, it was injuries. It was Barca as well having their own problems. We never could see, as they call, fully fit Pedri. But now, you know that when he did in yesterday's game when he took it over the defender, like kick it
yeah.
ups over him. Jogador, man, jogador.
Jugador, jugador. Yeah, man, he's fucking nuts. And again, we've always seen this, but just been a consistency issue. But now he's playing every single game. He's been like a consistent player, as he should be, since he is a top player. The recognition is now slowly but surely coming in. So I will say
But
this
we're
though.
still seeing
Go ahead.
Pedri Yahoo debates, which is blasphemy, man.
Pedri, who?
Yahoo, Bellingham.
Oh, nah, there's nothing. I will say Joao Neves. I think he is one of the best midfielders in the world
Yes.
as well, especially on how he's doing this season. But needs some big trophies. There. He can't be just stat padding in Liga. I gotta see it in the Champions League. More of those city performances. What I need from Neves. But we will end it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. Subscribe as well. When we draw PSG on Friday, the next show will be on PSG Inch channel, so we'll be there to talk about the reaction of the draw. So again, mentally prepare for the draw to happen because I know it's gonna happen. So that way, if we get Benfica or Marco, I'll be even happier. But yeah, we'll be racing the shit out of that content if we if we draw each other. But we'll end it here, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, check out PSG Int. Links are down below. If you want to do live watch along, he's cooking on that right now. Of course, I only do Barcelona. That's the only I care about. But you want more? Check out PSG Int, of course, for other content as well. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care and force a bar.